Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Forzani and I will be presenting the IB Business and Management 1.3 Organizational Objectives by Brad Opfer. Part 1 of Unit 1.3 has to do with explaining the importance of objectives in managing an organization. Objectives are vital to any business to ensure that it is able to be successful in the future because it really sets out a plan for what the business wants to accomplish and how it will succeed and achieve its goals in the near future. So objectives are really important for a business so that it can really get a good feel of where it is and where it wants to be. Aim versus objectives. So there are some aspects that differentiate between what an aim is and what an objective is, and though both of them are very important to a business, they are actually two different concepts. So an aim is normally a long-term intention, a starting point for setting objectives, and it is usually qualitative. An objective, on the other hand, is based on the aims, and it is normally more specific. For example, it may include a time frame. An objective is also measurable. It usually has a more quantitative element as opposed to the qualitative element in an aim. An objective also forms the basis of action or strategy for a business. So what are some examples of organizational objectives of the private sector or for the public sector? So these examples could really vary, and we'll look into that in the next section. This diagram is a great representative of what some business objectives might be for a business in the private sector. Some of the business objectives listed here include market power, brand loyalty, customer satisfaction, turnover, social issues, market share, long-term survival, personal satisfaction, ethical issues, reputation and image, profit, global power, and many others. For example, a business in the private sector may include a hotel like the Westin, and one of their objectives might be to gain a greater market share so that they can be more competitive in the hospitality industry, and so that they can really gain a competitive edge over such companies as Marriott, Hyatt, and Hilton. This diagram displays the objectives of a business in the public sector. These objectives include affordability, quality, access, and equity. These objectives differ from those of a private business in the private sector, and this is mainly because both sectors include businesses that are in the marketplace for different reasons. Businesses in the public sector are often looking to do something to benefit the society, do something for the greater good, while businesses in the private sector are more interested in making a profit. So the objectives of a business in the public sector would usually be different from those of a business in the private sector. An example of a business in the public sector is the healthcare industry. And in the healthcare industry, it's usually, depending on what the country is, the government might be running it. So this would mean that the government would be looking for quality so that its citizens would be getting the best healthcare. Also affordability so that everyone could have healthcare and they would be able to afford the services offered by the government. Access is one big one. They need to make sure that all the citizens of their society have access to the healthcare. So these are just all examples of what objectives may be like in the public sector for a real-life business. Objectives are important in order to facilitate decision-making and strategy, unify and motivate employees, measure and control performance, and communicate with shareholders. So how exactly do objectives accomplish all of this? So the objectives really act as a guideline for the business to follow in order to meet their eventual aim. And because of this, the business is really able to lay out what exactly they want to do and what they need to do to get there. For this reason, the business will be able to successfully accomplish all of the things that they would like to do. For example, unifying and motivating employees, measuring and controlling performance, facilitating decision-making and strategy, communicating with shareholders. They could set up objectives that would essentially target all of these goals and help them to meet that objective. So objectives are really important for allowing the business to accomplish the tasks that they'd like to accomplish. Unit 1.3, Learning Objectives, Part 2. Explain the purpose of mission and vision statements. Analyze the role of mission and vision statements in an organization. So we're going to go into kind of what exactly mission and vision statements are and how they apply to a business. Vision and mission statements are very important because they give the business a chance to promote their company and establish a position in the marketplace that they would like to maintain, and it kind of also establishes how the customers view their company and what image they are reflecting upon the marketplace. Aims, mission, and vision statements. We talked about aims earlier. However, I'd just like to reiterate some of the points that we covered just so we know how aims really connect to the mission statement and vision statement. So aims are long-term intentions, a starting point for setting objectives, and they are usually qualitative. Now let's look at the mission statement. The mission statement details the aims and values. It broadly states the underlying purpose and it guides individual behavior. It also informs investors of the business's aim and overall vision. A vision statement is similar to the mission statement, but it tends to be more long-term and kind of reflect what the business wants to accomplish down the road. Unit 1.3, Learning Objectives, Part 3. Distinguish between objectives, strategies, and tactics, and discuss how these interrelate. This diagram shows how the aims, objectives, strategies, and tactics of a business are all interrelated. So as you can see, each aspect is listed on a different step to show how each aspect leads to the other and how they are interrelated. We start first with the aim, which is listed at the top. And the aim is what an organization wants in general and what it eventually wants to achieve. And it's kind of the groundwork for the company in terms of what it would like to see in the future for the organization. An objective is what an organization needs to achieve in order to get what they want. The objective is like the first step in determining how the business will achieve this overall aim. Strategies are the actions that facilitate an organization to meet its objectives. And then the tactics really relate to the strategies in that they are the short-term actions that help achieve the strategies. So each one is interrelated. They each help to strengthen the other, and they specifically refer to how that aspect will be implemented. Tactics refers to strategies and how the strategies will be specifically implemented. And that strategy, in turn, will help the business to meet its objective, which will, in turn, help it achieve its overall aim. So as you can see, the aims, objectives, strategies, and tactics of a business are all very important to its short-term and long-term success. Thank you for listening. I hope that I was able to elucidate how important objectives are to a business and its operations. Here is the bibliography. As you can see, bized.co.uk was used, as well as Business and Management and the IB Business and Management Study Guide. Thank you.